Welcome to Answers from Within. From the author of the All-Knowing Diary, Mind Lies into Truths that will set you free.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are on Answers from Within, and this is Daniel, and we're tapping into our intuition to see truth. And truth will heal us, the truth will set us free, and I'm wondering what the truth is going to bring for Rachel. Hello.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
I'm good. Good to talk to you again. What are we going to be chatting about today?
Okay, so my question is about something that happens when I sleep. So I'm not aware of doing that. Yeah, I have an excessive teeth grinding or jaw clenching, or the medical term bruxism, and it disturbs me, of course, first of all, because I have a swollen cheek and I don't like it.
Right.
And mostly because sometimes when I eat food, it's actually hard to eat food because I don't know, something when I chew it. So
okay, so you want to know what's behind grinding your teeth and how to stop doing it. Is that it?
Exactly.
Okay, good. All right, that's a very interesting question. I haven't had that one before, so I feel it's going to be full of surprises. So let's go right in and have a look. Okay, very interesting. The grinding of your teeth is your equivalent of thinking things through. You believe if I think things through, I won't make any mistakes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, when we're a kid, when we're children and we're taught, you should think this through. You should, think before you leap. All of these things parents say to us and teachers say to us. Well, you really took it on. You're like, whoa, I really need to be careful of that. And this is it. I need to be careful. I don't make rash decisions. I don't make impulsive decisions. I need to think things through. So what you decided for yourself was, because I'm asleep, because I can't think while I'm asleep, I'm going to do the next best thing. I'm going to grind. That is like I'm chewing things over. Okay, if I'm grinding, it means I'm thinking. So you were actually, in your sleep, you were trying to avoid making mistakes during that week. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah.
How did it stuck in me?
Yeah, so there is, it's funny because it's not an anxiety, oh, I'm going to make a mistake. It's more like, I want to make a clever decision. So like some of us are really worried we're going to make stupid decisions and screw everything up. But that's not where you're coming from. You're more around, I just want to make a clever decision. I want to get it right. Not because I'm worried I'm going to screw it up, but just because I know I can go up instead of just plateau. I can take it to another level. So we need to look at some truth on this one, Rachel.
Yes, please.
So I'm going to have a look at, what does your body need, or what does the mind need to release this? I'm going to screw it up if I don't think this through, or I'm not going to get it right if I don't think this through, or as right. There's kind of a spectrum that you're oscillating through. So let me have a look at what you need to heal that. The first thing that you need to know is, it's not your mind that makes the smart decisions. In fact, it's your mind that makes decisions that slow you down. and you're relying on your mind to get you out of problems, to hopefully come up with solutions, and to take your life further. But all that's doing is having you grind your teeth. Pure and simple. The mind is not the smartest part of your anatomy. In fact, it's the least smart part of your anatomy. And so you have another option available to you, and that is obviously your intuition, right? And that works best when your mind isn't being engaged. When your mind isn't busy, then the insights and the wisdom that are innate within you can come up to your awareness. But whilst you are relying on your mind to solve your problems and answer your questions and steer your life, the intuition doesn't get heard. It doesn't get a word in. So we need to change your perception around my mind knows everything into my intuition is what knows everything. And the way I'm going to hear it most clearly is after a good night's sleep. So recognizing that sleep isn't your enemy that's getting in the way of thinking, but rather sleep is what guarantees you're going to have clarity the next day. And the more you sleep, the clearer you're going to be. Does that make sense?
Yes, but how do I make that decision?
Yeah, well, we're working on it. We're just bringing a little bit of truth in, and we're just seeing if you're kind of absorbing it. And it feels like it's going in a little bit. Does it to you? Can you feel that kind of like, oh yeah, yep.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, good. So we just keep going a little bit. All right, so the next truth to let in is the more I think about things, the more lost I become. All right? Mm-hmm. So, and we're all familiar with that. So what do we replace that with is rather trust that when it comes to making the right decision, the information will be there. Have you had that experience? And I know you have. I'm asking it knowing that you have. You've had the experience where you went, you know what? I don't know the answer. And at the point in time, the idea, the solution was there. You've had that before?
Yes.
Right. So you need to come back into the trust of you pose a question, you say intuition or Rachel's higher self or whatever you want to call it, right? I would like this question solved, please. Then you walk away. You don't think about it. You leave it alone. Because if you mull over trying to answer it for yourself, it's you taking over the process and using the limited mind of just this lifetime, all its fears and doubts and insecurities, to answer your question. As opposed to the universe knows a little bit more than your mind, answering your question. So part of this is it's just a new habit to form around, okay, I've got a question, pose it, walk away, let it come back. It's a bit like Google. You know, when we go to Google something, imagine looking for all the websites manually to find our answer. We don't do that. We just trust Google will look through the websites for us and bring us the answers. And this is how your new way of being is you pose the question, which is like typing in your search, and you go, okay, I can trust that that will arrive in time for my decision to be made. How do you feel about that?
Great. I actually need to let go of that doubt that I have.
Well, let's look at the doubt, okay? Let's look at how do we let go of that doubt? I mean, our whole life we've been taught to think about things. Think it through. Think it over. You know? Mull it over. Yeah. We've been taught that. So how do you break that? Well, the truth is that thinking is actually the least effective way to use your brain, to use the mind. It's the least. Rather, it's stilling the mind. You want to start seeing that stilling the mind is thinking. Keeping the mind busy is the absence of thinking. If you like. We're changing the vocabulary a bit here. We're changing things around from your understanding. So to realize the fastest way to process or to get information or to get your brain working in the best way is to quiet it, to still it. It's not to engage it. You know, we're constantly taught, oh, you've got to engage your brain, you've got to engage your mind, you've got to stimulate it. It's like, no, don't do that. It's actually the least effective way to use your brain. Rather, trust. Trust is the energy that stimulates your brain more than exercising it. Because trust is showing your brain, I've got the confidence and the knowing that you have the ability to access the universe. But thinking just wears it out, right? Wears you out. It's very physically exhausting, mentally exhausting. All right, so you got that? You got that shift as a concept? Stillness is the thinking. Busyness, the non-thinking. We don't like that. Doesn't work.
How do I integrate that?
All right.
There's a problem there.
Yeah, you're resisting it. There's part of you. I'm seeing your father. Your father's coming in there. His energy, and he's like, let's see what's that all about. Okay. He's saying, you're really smart, use your brain properly. Use your brain. Like, does he used to say things like that to you? Use your...
Yeah.
It's like, but it's more than that. It's like, get the most out of your brain. It's like, come on, milk it. You can get more out of it. But what he didn't say to you, because there's a part of you, and this is where the resistance is, I don't want to let down my father. Mm-hmm. He said I've got a good brain. I don't want to let him down, and I don't want to let myself down. But the truth is, he didn't really know how to use his brain properly either. And that's kind of why he was saying, I don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to not use your brain properly, because he's feeling, I know there's more to it than this and I don't know what it is. So because I'm feeling a void within myself, I want you to do it. You better do it. You better step up, because I haven't been able to. The irony, though, is that stepping up is actually means doing less. He was trying to, like, he would overuse his brain. He would do too much with it, think too hard about things. And he thought that's what it took. But rather for you, it's about not thinking about things. That's where the genius comes in. So you can honor what he was asking of you, which was to make the most of your capability. You can honor that for him and more for yourself, just by not thinking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not thinking is doing more for you with your brain than you could ever do by doing it the old-fashioned way through thinking.
All right.
And look what I'm doing right now. Am I thinking or am I non-thinking?
You're not.
If I was thinking, I'd be like a psychologist. I'd be analyzing you, asking you all these questions, and it would take me a year to get to these answers. I'm not thinking. I'm allowing the answers to come to me. But I'm just doing it very quickly with you, so it looks like I'm kind of thinking, but I'm not. I pose a question and I let the answer come to me. So I'm demonstrating to you exactly what the rest of your life is going to look like. Non-thinking. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Feels like you've kind of let that one in.
Yeah.
You just needed to know you're doing the right thing by your dad. Okay. Now, we're going to go into your jaw and I want to see what's still stuck in there, okay, and see why it still feels interesting. There's this belief running through here that is, if I'm not smart, if I don't think things through, if I don't know my stuff, people won't listen to me. I won't be heard. Very important for you to realize is that this of course, was never about being heard by other people. This was about you wanting to hear smart things for yourself. You want to hear you say smart things, think smart things, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
But you know what? It's so interesting because there's a muddle, which is I'm expecting that other people want to hear smart things from me or they won't take me seriously. But that's not the issue. What's really there is I want to hear myself speak truth. Do you ever write poetry?
Maybe a little bit in the past.
Do you know how much your ears want to hear your poetry?
How much?
Do you have any... how much? So much. So much. Your ears, poetry, your poetry, not anyone else's poetry, and so I guess some people's poetry, but in particular your poetry is music to your ears. Your ears want to hear your words of wisdom, your stories, your messages. Your ears want to hear that. And what's been happening is, now we're going to complete the little circle. What's been happening is, I need to think things over, which is predominantly what other people have said to you, what you've learned. I need to go through what I've been taught. And your ears are like, I don't want to hear what everyone else has been teaching. I want to hear from myself. I want to hear my words of wisdom. It's magic. So, if we go back in the jaw, there's this frustration of, I'm bored, chew. I have to think this stuff through as a substitute from pronouncing it myself. What did we say all those months back now was your life purpose?
That it was to speak truth.
Do you know what? I honestly didn't remember what we said, which is why I asked you. But look at what that was.
Yeah.
It's to speak truth. And now look what's going on. The jaw is now, of course, the body is always in alignment with our higher purpose. And when we're not giving our higher purpose, the body freaks out and starts illness and issues and chewing and all this stuff goes on. So it's time to get yourself a journal, or use the one you've got, and start journaling out your words of truth. And it doesn't even need to be told to the world at this point in time. It just needs to be heard by your ears. Okay? Now, let me have a look and just see if there's any more we need to do for today. Oh, but other people don't want to hear my truth, she says. Okay, first point. That's not true. That's not true. Not true. Your father, in your mind, doesn't want to hear hear your truth. Your parents, the rabbis, whatever. But your truth isn't designed to appeal to people. You know how you write things in a way that you want, that you know people will like, people will respond to, it will get people's attention? Do you know how you can write like that? You kind of write, like at uni, you write that way to appeal to your lecturer or whatever. In marketing, you write that way to appeal to a customer. Your truth isn't that. For all intents and purposes, truth is the word of God. It's the word of the universe. It's the word of your soul. It's designed to create a resonance, to change the energy in you, in your consciousness, and to anyone else around you who can feel it and who will let it in. It's not designed as an advertisement. It's not an article. Here are my words of truth. Those who are attracted to that, who want to resonate at a higher level, will be drawn to you. Those who reject growth and enlightenment will not be attracted to it. And they might even do something worse, like criticize it. But all they're criticizing is themselves. All they're saying is, hey, I'm not ready to grow. I don't like what you're doing. So what? That's all their criticism comes right back at them. It's all about them. It's their self-denial. That's not about you. So your words of truth, like we said, are music to your ears and really important for your full body health, your full functioning. And that, my dear, is where we're going to complete today.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
You're very welcome. So if you have a question that needs answering, come along to danielanswers.com